Welcome to the Four Worlds podcast from Tomorrow's World Today. We're diving into the latest in tech, science, and sustainability, from nature's mysteries in the world of inspiration to the hands-on crafts of creation, the bold breakthroughs of innovation, and the scaled-up wonders of production. This is your ticket to the stories shaping tomorrow. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Four Worlds podcast. We have another exciting episode for you. Today, we're joined by Assaf Glazer, the CEO of the Vinst app. Really, in essence, it's an app that makes cooking easier, making your time in the kitchen a little more enjoyable, all using AI technology and, of course, an app. Assaf, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for the invite. It is a pleasure.
Yeah, the pleasure is all ours. We're definitely looking forward to this one. So let's jump right into it. What is the Vinst app and where did it start? Take us all the way back to the beginning where you're brainstorming and coming up with that idea, finally getting into the product that you have now.
Yes, the Vinst app is your partner for cooking at home. Everything along the cooking journey, we looked into it and prioritized it based on the pain point that we found by looking at people cooking at home, whether to organize all your recipe together in one place, have an easy to follow display, being able to collaborate and share recipes, which, cooking starts with inspiration, not only our mom and dad, but also bloggers today. So how to bring all of these together into one place with the vision to improve our health through home cooking over time with Vinst.
Cooking, just like you said, has a lot to do with inspiration, but getting this app launched, getting it started, what inspired you to do that? What was that point in your head that just gave you that aha moment and made you want to go towards something like this?
First, I'm a foodie guy. Okay, I like to cook. I used to be in kitchens and a teenager and later on, but what made the difference was COVID. During COVID, I have 3 kids, and we were in New York during this time with 3 young kids at home all over. And cooking started to be a necessity because they couldn't stand watching my kids eating those, double-crust chicken fingers. So I put like a 2-hour slots in the calendar, and the rest is a story. What cooking did to my family, not only from nutrition perspective, but also get to know your kid and something for their future. Many things to say about it, but this is the moment that everything started.
Yeah, was there ever a moment on the other hand too, where you're looking through recipes, you're looking online, different things, maybe some blogs, just recipes in general? Was there that moment where you thought to yourself, there has to be an easier way or on a more efficient way to do this?
I'm dealing with AI vision, computer vision, process control, and consumer from very different angles along the year. And in 2020, I started to dive into the articles that talk about multimodal with AI, and it was mind-blowing. We went through the deep learning revolution, and Gen AI is kind of the next phase of this one. But the ability to take content like liquid, images and text and video, and fuse them in a way that create reasoning and be able for a machine to digest this data, it changed the whole paradigm of how people cook. Because I can provide you the information exactly how you want it. If you want it to look like shorts on YouTube, then this is how it looked like. So the technology wasn't there yet in terms of production, but it was clear that we can do much more than having with our phone in the kitchen cooking.
So talking about all of that, and we'll take a glimpse behind the curtain a little later. But if you're a user on the Vinst app, you open it, you create an account, what can people do? Kind of a step-by-step of all of the capabilities. I mean, there's links you can put onto the app that'll give you a recipe. There's videos, like you said, even pictures. Give us kind of like a step-by-step what a user can expect when opening the Vinst app.
When you open the Vinst app, you get first a list of all your recipes that
Mhm.
are in the same format, saved in one location. Like technology today, even if you take 10 years ago, changed dramatically the way that we cook. We enter the kitchen with our phone. We cook our browser, timer, calculator, jot, notes. We have our cameras. We don't need to be next to our parents for 20 years and learn how to cook. We just open Instagram and TikTok, and everything goes to you in a one-to-many approach.
Yep.
And it changed dramatically the way that people learn and cook. But if you look at the experience of how it feels to cook with everything around, it is a disjoint experience. It's all over. The screen turn off, and the images are lost in the camera rolls. And there is recipes on Instagram and recipes in WhatsApp threads with friends, and not everything, and pop up from advertisement. And it's like Windows 95. Like the promise is there. The promise is there. The technology is working, but there is some missing brand and alignment on voice and tone, some guidance of putting everything together without the need to go to the timer or to the Google or to translate or to look at weird recipes or scroll all the way down and to see where the hell are the instructions, or just being able to keep in one place everything and never go and search your recipes in other places. And on top of it, being able to collaborate and create shared collections with your family and with cooking clubs and friends and community. And everything that I said until now is free.
Mhm.
So our basic assumption is that in order to make such an improvement in the way that people cook, there are various studies that show that home cooking translates to better nutrition practices. It is the journey, the fact that you control the ingredients and be aware of what you put in your mouth. It's like putting yourself on a scale every morning. Eventually, you will lose weight. So if we will make home cooking easier and allow everyone to do those things, will be also better nutrition for all. So if you want to create such an impact and being able to share between everyone, it must be free.
Right.
So everything that related to this is, I think that on this part, we're pretty unique.
Yeah, it definitely makes you unique because everything is down to a paywall these days. So having, I downloaded the app myself. I was looking around to it, and just the capabilities that you have in the app to make cooking easier, to make it a little more accessible, in it being free is really unique to the app. So I completely agree with you on that front. And to do all of that, you really leverage into AI, artificial intelligence. So how do you use AI to make all of these processes easier for a user?
I always say AI is like electricity. It's not a product. GPT can, electricity, like if you go straight to GPT, there is a lot of value around copy, but you can feed a lot of products and create amazing things. So how AI is plugged into Vinst in a way that help us cook is in every detail around the app. We use electricity and we use AI. First, when you bring your recipes from Instagram, text, or images, or URLs online, we extract the data with AI and provide you all the recipes organized and categorized, auto-categorized. So if you want to find recipes by meal type or ingredients or dessert or type of cuisine, and we have lots of type of categorization, you can easily go and find them and search them in a really easy way. Not to mention that when you cook those recipes, that the view is very structured and you can see all the recipes in the same way. The screen is always on. We have, of course, our GPT, and you can ask questions, but also the timers are ready for you in advance. So you don't need to go anywhere outside the app to do things, whether to write notes. And if you take pictures, we actually add them to the app itself. We also allow you to put together playlists of recipes in a collection. It's really nice curated collections that you have on your collections tab, and those collections can also be shared with others and create a collaborative collections with friends or with families, which is very unique in the way that you can actually share and do things together, and it just make your cooking experience much easier. The optional side, which is what we are selling, is we can turn those collections into self-published cookbooks that you can use for gifting, a special gift for Thanksgiving or a special event like graduation. We had now a scout that every child gave one recipe, and they bought 20 kind of books for graduations that all the families received, or just preserving family recipes, thinking about your mom, dad, their recipes, their like friends, and putting together. And it could be a really nice project to cherish those traditions and bring back those recipes to the table, and helping us cook easily, collaboratively, and easily eventually with Vinst.
And that's another unique thing about the app. It's, of course, on it at face value, it's about cooking. It's making accessing recipes easier, but it really is about connecting people, right? Whether it's through the creation of your own cookbook, sharing recipes with other friends, family members. Is that something that was important to you? Obviously, you told the story about COVID and cooking for your children and all that. Is connecting family and friends one of the more important things about the Vinst app as well?
Definitely. I can give you an example. I think that today we can talk about it. We really look at from, if you go 30,000 feet up, okay? We look at the food system. We look at the food system in the whole. We spend a significant amount of time to look at it not only from recipe perspective, but also from industry, culinary, food science, going to even processed food, looking into the academia, how they look at it. I myself spent like 1 year in a cooking school and working in a fine dining restaurant as a cook, just to feel how kitchen, professional kitchen work, but a lot of those are where the thought leaders are defining culinary, right? When you look at the food system as a whole from many different perspectives, you understand that what we want to do for our food system to be better are actually the reason why we cook at home. We want to make our food system more connecting, more, it's a way to express love. You cook the food you love, very emotional, and it's a way to bring people together. We want it to be healthier, our food system. We want it to use less resources. We want us to be friendly to the environment. These are why people cook. You cook the food you love for the people you love. You cook. I discovered last year that 2 of my kids have celiac, so health turned a very drastic shift for me. But health and wellness is one of the reasons we cook. Cost and the environment. Those are the reasons. So let's cook. If you want to make our food system better, then let's cook. And the first thing that I talked about was about connection, about people, and we call what we do at the kitchen, we call it a food story, in the sense that, you bring your inspiration, your smells, the blogger's mom, whatever, to the table and to the kitchen, and you cook as you do it with your oven and your things and your taste and your spicy and your hands, and eventually something different is made that is yours. This is your food story. So how can you create such a tool without sharing and collaborating? Because this is how we learn how to cook.
Right.
If you look at where it started and where it go, it's all sum into making cooking easier, but also education.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, farm to table. Farm to table is one of the basic things to learn when you cook at home. Because if I will tell you to cook healthy, which is logic, probably it won't last beyond a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But if I will give you ways to make your food tastier or make it cheaper and make it more fresh and healthy, then you will do it.
Mm-hmm.
And how we can tie, or how can you use collaboration and sharing to teach people about farm to table, about local ingredients, about
Mm-hmm.
even support your local farms. Just share with them recipes that are relevant for the season. We are now starting to, we're in collaboration with, I can say it now, with West Virginia University. It's still not took place, so we got here kind of news. And we created for them a collection, a shareable cookbook, shareable collection of recipes that feature fruits and vegetables that now grow in Virginia during the summer. And those are only simple recipes, easy to cook, less than 30 minutes. Just try to replace those shakes and things that they buy and say, we have great fruits. It will be tasty. It's less than $50 per person. And try through behavioral science to bring those people to cook more and to acquire better nutrition habits over time. You cannot do it without collaborating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that makes sense. How does that translate to the home? Maybe someone doesn't have access to a quote farm to table kind of situation. Maybe they're in the city. How does it translate? Can you ask the app or the chatbot to find a replacement? What can I do? I'm not near a farm. I'm not near fresh produce. Essentially, how can I replace that? What can I do to make my recipe a little more nutritional, a little bit more better for me?
It is a really good question. I think that I was always surprised how the number one go-to for cooking is New York Times. They really have the best recipes. But no matter where you are in the world, you are cooking the same recipe. But, there are seasons. And from personally myself, I need a gluten-free nutrition, and I want low fat, or I want something quick and easy. With AI, you can make those changes. So no matter where you're in the world, with Vinst, we can adjust recipes to your taste and also to your local environment and your local ingredients that you had before. Like, we're looking into precision nutrition. When you look at Vinst, now we just launched this year. We just started, and the app is growing in a really high pace. But if you look at where we're going, we want to also get feedback from your Apple Watch, your blood test, your sleep, and every week we'll give you some biofeedback of how the food that you ate affected your health. And with precision nutrition and AI, we can actually modify those things to adjust to your taste, to your diet restrictions, to your busy schedule, to your whatever budget that you have. So if you are in New York, instead of having long hauls of potato breads and chicken nuggets from Mid-America, you're next to the sea. You're next to the sea. Eat fish. This is my message. I was in Japan this spring with my family, and I had a nice kind of a nice place that I rented with a kitchen, because I felt that I need to cook in the morning, and I was surprised that everything is fresh. Like, everywhere that you go, everything is so fresh and so clean. And you go to the supermarket, there are no carts. There are only small baskets. And you see that people in Japan, all the industry is farm to table. Like, they don't consume they don't have frozen meals. They don't have this thing. You won't see this in the supermarket. And every time they eat or buy the things that are fresh and local, go back home, and then the price is also lower. We just need to understand what our land around us give us. And this is an example of the directions that we're going.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point with the frozen meals. Let's say someone who can't cook, they rely on those frozen meals. Let's say they have XYZ frozen meal. Can they go into your app and say, "Hey," to the chatbot, "give me a maybe identical, a similar recipe to this frozen meal"? Will the app give maybe a more nutritional option for it, a recipe, a simple recipe for, let's say, a frozen meal?
We're going in this direction.
Mhm.
Currently, we have some certain tweaks, and we have a recipe tweaker. It's I can share with you. It's something that we're working now with the academia to understand what type of precision nutrition would be. Like we're also looking into research. I don't know how much you know about Nanit, my previous company that I founded, but Nanit is a consumer product that help parents put their baby to sleep. It's a baby monitor that you sell in the market, and everyone knows that the nanny. Like I'm talking about parents, okay? But on the back end, our first investor were Cornell and Technion University, and we created a platform for researcher to expand our knowledge on baby sleep and development, from early detection of autism with UCLA and Autism Speak to dozens of journal papers, peer review. We became the gold standard of how to measure sleep outside of the lab. Nanit went through a validation studies for the sleep scoring technology. When you are thinking about it as a whole, we move now from sleep to nutrition. We can go into groups and like diabetics and think about, okay, how to support diabetics and allow them to do all the low glucemian, turn every recipe to low glucemian version using Vinst. It is a huge, lots of population, like lots of types of different of that. You need to understand we cannot boil the ocean in terms of the opportunity that exists out there. But I think that AI created a product for 100 years, like electricity. So at some point we'll reach there
Right.
as well.
So that brings up a great point talking about Nanit, and we're jumping around a little bit here, but how did Nanit and founding that inspire or help you create Vinst and the earliest stages of Vinst? Take us through that timeline of Nanit and then going into Vinst.
For me, there's a really a smooth transition between everything. I started in semiconductors. I did, like I'm talking about 2004, did AI, and we tried with a neural network to classify defects on silicon wafer as part of the classification process. And it was process control. And I love processes. I like to measure everything. And I moved from there to, like I did my thesis around it, and I was working on a product that I was on the algorithm side. I was only kind of, and I was trying to do process control for flowers and for textile and for PCB and for vegetables. And then I moved to my PhD and and started to do process control for babies. Like a crib is like a chamber, and turned into a consumer product. But if you look at the initial how Nanny started, like it called IntelliNanny, how to identify diseases and disorders earlier with a camera. It wasn't even about a screen. I moved as a postdoc to Cornell University with this concept to commercialize it, maybe. But I think that we improve or we do sleep training and help parents put their baby to sleep. And through the data that we aggregate, we tell something about sleep and developments for kids and also for parents. Here with Vinst, it's the same vision. Through home cooking, from a weekly basis, we do some behavioral change as well with those feedback that will provide you on a weekly basis with this kind of biofeedback, with how we educate you about farm to table through emotions and incentive. We did all those things with Nanit. And with Nanit, we also work closely with academia. Academia is, I think that partnership within industry and academia can bring to great businesses and amazing social impact. And this is a joint role that academia and industry have. And I can talk a lot only about this because I was only on the SIM.
Mhm.
But we use the academia to understand what is belief and what
Mhm.
is science. Like parents have a lot of ways to put their baby to sleep, lots of beliefs, and everything is good. We cannot, if you feel something, always lead
Right.
with your heart. But as a
Right.
company, as a brand, you need to be responsible. So the president of the Technion was one of the founders of sleep medicine, and we connected with the top leaders on baby sleep and development. And one of them was Professor Avisadeh. I won't go into all the details, but I need to say this name. Uh, so what should we do now to put baby to sleep? Studies show that.
Mhm.
We are looking for evidence. There is an evidence that home cooking improve your health. There is evidence about what happened when you consume food from local environment. If you consume home cooking until age of 5, there are a lot of studies that show that less chances that you'll develop celiac,
Mhm.
for instance. And we can use the research in Vinst, our connection to them, in a way that will help us to make an impact,
Mhm.
significant impact on our nutrition
Right.
eventually.
Right. And going from Nanit into Vinst, both are using technology and science and blending that with people's very personal lives, maybe some very personal moments. And let's go to Vince. You're accessing some photos from recipes or food and cooking with people's very personal lives. How do you balance that innovation and setting yourself up in these people's personal lives? How do you balance that innovation and, people's very personal moments?
I don't see any problem around it.
Hmm.
Actually, I always amazed how consumers are not logical in the way that they work. It's not like I save money, so I do this. Like B2B is much more easier to understand before even you went to scale. With people, the challenge is understanding how the data, how the statistic overall. It's a problem that you must look at numbers. You must look at feedback. You cannot say what is and those things, personal things and fact that you see that are like a aha moment shape your product. And it's probably the only way to shape your product. Smart people that sit in a room and think about the product, eventually, if they won't use it, listen to the users, have them hear what they want. It's not that they need to make the decision. You have the strategy and understand, but going into those personal details, this is the way to create value
Right.
over time.
Right. And how do you take user feedback? Do you take that heavily into consideration? And what has that feedback been from users using the Vinst app?
As an analog, it's like going to a kindergarten and trying to develop first grade. So they don't know to read yet, right? But you're just trying to understand how to bring them to first grade. You need to work with them. They don't make changes in their life until there is a really good reason. If you will download the app and you won't be able to log in, you will throw it and you won't continue. If I will paying you to download the app, you will ask me, how do I fix it, right? So the user journey need to be smooth. And there is a lot of details when you look at this funnel of bringing people to become users. And the way to do it is just observing.
Mhm.
Observing. The first thing that we did was to go to people home and see how they cook. We did many surveys around the US to understand how kitchen look like, how people cook, how frequently they cook, how do they do it, what are they, and based on the data they aggregate, you cannot, by the way, measure everything or do surveys or anything. You have to have some instincts around something. It's not, and eventually they don't know what the book is. And I know where I'm taking them. So it's not that it's all everything what the user are doing, but you're using data from them to make informed decisions on your product roadmap.
And what were some of those, when you're first launching Vinst, what were some of those hurdles or maybe some challenges that you had to overcome, and how did you overcome them?
I think that the biggest challenge was understanding how to deal with uncertainty around AI. Because from the early beginning, we said, you can talk to your phone and ask them how to solve this problem with the dishwasher, and you should have a video of, the Bosch CEO telling you how to fix the dishwasher. This is where the world is going, right? But creating such a solution from integration, from production perspective, take time, year, 2 years. So we want to move really, really fast, but we need to create a technology strategy roadmap that would say where to put things along the way. And it's not only, by the way, when the technology arrives, it's also a moment in time. For instance, we saw that when people create book for their family, for instance, the biggest challenges for them is to bring images. It's my mom took this, I don't have it now, it's a hassle. Like you cook, sometimes you forget to take pictures because you're so hungry and you want to do something and you just don't think about it. So why don't we do an image with AI? Okay. And we found out that it really worked, but there was a question whether the sentiment around it will be positive or negative. And what we found that in some sense, when we talk about AI, we passed the Rubicon. Everyone wants to be part of it. There was a moment in time that everyone left their Nokia phone and moved to iPhone, crossing the chasm. It's the layers of the word. We realized that we are there and we're fine with generating AI images because you want to see the real recipe. You don't want to see an AI generated images, but making all in all, it's better than nothing. So, right. and it's look also really good when you print it. I recommend all of you to see how good it is.
Yeah. What does the team behind Vinst's product look like? Is there developers? Is there cooks all going into the same product?
First, I have my co-founder, Chen Fisher. He used to be my SVP of R&D at Nanit. At Nanit, we'll build a computer vision on the cloud with real-time on firmware, hardware, manufacturing, mobile connect. He orchestrates all this operation, and he's also a pastry chef. So after working a decade together, we moved to this journey. So first, I have my co-founder, and this is the beginning. My first hire was design research, also with Nanit in New York, by the way. Understanding and observation and conduct qualitative and quantitative studies, being able to interview, being able to look into data and drive conclusions. I don't believe in luck. I believe that first you measure and then you make decisions. So first measure what is not known and then you'll be able to move forward. So design is a big part, but then you have developers, you have culinary experts. We are all kind of foodies. If you will download the app on the collections tab, you will see a collection that was made by the Vinst team. So if you want to know them better, you got the recipes from their home. So you can go there and each one have my grandma pickles, which are the best pickles ever. And what is nice about pickles that you need only pickles and salt that is not only cheap, but available everywhere. And you can have your really fresh, nice pickles for yourself, but many other great recipes that you can enjoy if you want to know the team better.
No, that's great. I saw the pickles when I first downloaded the app. I saw the other recipes that are already available to a user, which I find very interesting because it does ease a user in. When you open the app, it's not a blank page. You already have a dozen or so recipes right at your fingertips. Is that something that you took into consideration when developing?
Yes. We started with the pain points. The pain points were the organization. I think that there are a lot of sites and whatever that feels like an e-commerce for recipes that you get lost. Vinst app is very minimalist in the design. We can bring you a lot of recipes. We can generate recipes. But the first pain point is bring yours. You find something on Instagram, just throw it to Vinst. Just click the share, throw it to Vinst, and you don't need to think about it. It's already there. We will process, we will extract, we'll make it available in the best way for you to cook it once you want it.
And looking towards the future, where do you see Vinst going, and what's your ultimate goal moving forward?
We want to make our food system better, and we want to make it through home cooking. I think that we entered this big party of probably the largest market in the world, 10% of global economy. And we try to be partners for the people at home that cook in helping them to go through it as in the easiest way. Education is a big part of it. And I think that education with generative AI, what I told you before, you can ask Julia Child to make you a French onion soup, and she will be there with you and instruct you with what you are doing and show you how to cut the onion that you actually have in your hand. That technology is not there in terms of production, but it will be there. It's just a matter of time. So we design for this future and think about like a Spotify for recipes some way.
I love that comparison, sharing with friends, creating a playlist in quotes of recipes, which is really great. So it's definitely wait and see what technology looks like, and Vinst will be right there adapting and expanding with it.
Yes. And the research part, of course, working with the data and measure what the food that we eat, how it affects our community, how it affects our health, how it affects our resources. We can correlate. It's kind of an FDA process even of things that when you look at it at a large way, but there is still a long way to be there.
Absolutely. And we're looking forward to following that journey as you move forward into the future. Now, as we wrap things up, is there anything else that you wanted to add? Anything that we might have missed that you'd want a potential user to know, whether it's an amateur chef or a professional chef? Anyone can use the Vinst app.
Maybe I can send you the recipe tweaker.
Yeah.
You don't need to download the Vinst app to use it. It's a website, but you can use it to take whatever recipe you have, whether it's from mom or from blogger or whatever, put the URL to paste it inside and get tweak it in a way that you want to be with less sugar, less easy to make. And as an example of the things that you can do with AI and really easily get the recipe as you want to cook with, could be helpful for many of the audience who cook at home.
Well, Assaf, I appreciate that. We'll definitely try to get that out there. And once again, I just can't thank you enough for jumping on, taking the time out of your day and joining us. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thank you for the time. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. That's all the time we have today. We look forward to another episode. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Four Worlds Podcast. Until next time, you can catch up on the latest innovations shaping our world at tomorrowsworldtoday.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.